The neon lights flicker against the glossy black floors, the air thick with the scent of expensive whiskey and danger. The bass of the music vibrates through the walls, but for Jungkook, the world outside his shot glass is a blur. Jungkook wasn't supposed to be here. He wasn't the type to drink away his problems, but tonight was different. His father's deaths, the pressure, the suffocating weight of his life, it was too much. So, for one night, he let himself be reckless. Jungkook, muttering to himself, swirling his drink, just one night. No regrets. That's when he felt it, an intense gaze burning into his skin. He turned, and his breath hitched. A man sat in the VIP section, dressed in an all-black suit, a drink in his hand. He was stunning, sharp features, piercing eyes, exuding a presence that made the air around him feel heavier. Taehyung. Jungkook didn't know his name yet, but he felt his power from across the room. Taehyung wasn't just looking at him, he was hunting him. Taehyung, smirking, tilting his glass slightly in greeting. "You're staring." Jungkook, raising an eyebrow, playing along. "So are you?" Taehyung chuckled, standing up and making his way toward Jungkook. The crowd parted for him effortlessly, as if they knew who he was, who he really was. Taehyung, leaning in, voice deep, intoxicating, "You look like trouble." Jungkook, smirking, fueled by alcohol and recklessness, "Maybe I am." The tension crackled like fire between them. One drink turned into three. Flirtation turned into something darker, something undeniable. And before Jungkook knew it, he was pressed against the cold walls of a penthouse suite, breathless, consumed. The next morning, Jungkook woke up tangled in silk sheets, his head pounding. A slow realization crept in as he turned, eyes widening at the man beside him. Taehyung was awake, already dressed in an expensive black shirt, watching him with unreadable eyes. Jungkook, blinking, voice hoarse, "Who are you?" Taehyung, tilting his head, amused, "You don't know." Jungkook frowned, but his heart started racing. There was something dangerous about the way Taehyung was looking at him, possessive, like he already owned to him. Jungkook, hesitating, "Last night, it was just a mistake." Taehyung leaned closer, fingers brushing Jungkook's chin, tilting it up to meet his gaze. The amusement in his eyes darkened, turning into something lethal. "Taehyung, low, final, maybe for you. But I don't let go of what's mine." Jungkook shivered, a sense of unease settling in his chest. He didn't realize it yet, but that night had sealed his fate. Because Kim Taehyung wasn't just any man, he was the most feared mafia boss in the city. And now, he had set his sights on Jungkook. The morning sun filters through the floor-to-ceiling windows, casting golden light over the elegant bedroom. But for Jungkook, the warmth does nothing to melt the cold dread seeping into his bones. Jungkook, voice shaking slightly, "What do you mean?" "Yours?" Taehyung doesn't answer right away. Instead, he takes a slow sip of his coffee, watching Jungkook with an unreadable expression. Then, he sets the cup down and leans forward, elbows resting on his knees. "Taehyung," calmly, but with an edge of warning, "I don't do one-night stands, Jungkook. Especially not with someone who walks into my life so recklessly." Jungkook, heart racing, gripping the sheets around him, "So what? You're saying last night meant something? That's ridiculous." He tries to get up, but Taehyung moves fast. Before Jungkook can react, a firm hand grips his wrist, tugging him back onto the bed. Their faces are inches apart now, and Jungkook feels trapped, by Taehyung's presence, by his own pounding heart. Taehyung, quiet, dangerous, you don't understand, do you? He lets go, but Jungkook doesn't feel any freer. Taehyung stands, adjusting the cuff of his expensive shirt, his next words sending a chill down Jungkook's spine. Taehyung, your father's dead. The one he's been running from for years? He owes it to me. Silence. Jungkook feels his blood run cold. Jungkook, whispering, what? Taehyung, smirking, but there's no humor in his eyes. He gambled away everything. And when he couldn't pay, he made a deal with me. But instead of facing the consequences, he ran. Leaving you behind? Jungkook's breath catches. His father, he knew the man was reckless, but he never thought he'd abandon him like this. The weight of betrayal settles heavy in his chest. Jungkook, clenching his fists, you're lying. Taehyung, shrugging, call him. See if he answers. Jungkook hesitates, his fingers trembling as he reaches for his phone. He dials, the ringing echoing in the silence. Once. Twice. Then, the number you have dialed is no longer in service. The phone slips from his grasp. Jungkook, whispering, horrified, no. Taehyung kneels in front of him, tilting Jungkook's chin up to meet his gaze. His expression softens, just a little, but the intensity never fades. Taehyung, low, firm, you have two choices, Jungkook. One, you try to run, and I'll find you. You won't like the consequences. Jungkook swallows hard, fear gripping his chest. Taehyung, or two, you marry me. Jungkook's eyes widen, his breath catching in his throat. Jungkook, choking on his own words. What? Taehyung leans in, lips brushing against Jungkook's ear as he whispers his next words, sealing Jungkook's fate in an instant. Taehyung, be mine, Jungkook, or lose everything. Jungkook trembles as realization sets in. He's trapped. And no matter how much he fights it, there's no escaping Kim Taehyung. The grand estate is surrounded by high walls, guarded at every entrance. Inside, luxurious chandeliers hang from the ceiling, the scent of expensive cologne and leather filling the air. But to Jungkook, it feels like a prison. He sits on the edge of a massive bed, his fists clenched, his mind racing. Less than 24 hours ago, he was just an ordinary man trying to survive. Now, he's engaged to the most feared mafia boss in the city. Jungkook, muttering to himself, this can't be real. The sound of the door unlocking makes him jump. Taehyung steps in, his presence as commanding as ever. He's dressed in another expensive black suit, his gaze sharp, unreadable. Taehyung, calm, but firm, get dressed. We're getting married tonight. Jungkook, standing abruptly, that night. You're insane. Taehyung's eyes darken at Jungkook's defiance, but instead of anger, there's amusement dancing in them, like he enjoys watching Jungkook fight against the inevitable. Taehyung, taking slow steps toward him, I don't like waiting. You're mine, Jungkook. The sooner you accept it, the easier this will be for you. Jungkook, gritting his teeth, you can force me into this, but you can't make me love you. Taehyung stops inches away, his gaze locking onto Jungkook's. Then, he leans in, his lips gusting over Jungkook's ear as he whispers, voice dripping with quiet dominance, Taehyung, who said anything about love? Jungkook shudders. A chill runs down his spine, not just from fear, but from something else, something dangerous that he refuses to acknowledge. The wedding ceremony, a private estate, dimly lit under the golden glow of chandeliers. There are no guests, only a handful of Taehyung's men standing guard. The officiant waits silently, knowing better than to ask questions. Jungkook stands in a sleek black suit, his hands trembling at his sides. His heart pounds in his chest as Taehyung steps forward, exuding authority, looking at him like he already owns him. Officiant, nervous, clearing his throat. Do you, Kim Taehyung, take Jeon Jungkook as your lawful husband? Taehyung, without hesitation, eyes locked onto Jungkook's. I do. Officiant, and you, Jeon Jungkook, take Kim Taehyung. Jungkook's breath catches. Every fiber of his being screams at him to say no. To fight. To run. But then he feels it, the subtle brush of Taehyung's fingers against his wrist. A silent warning. A reminder that he has no choice. Jungkook squeezes his eyes shut, swallowing down the lump in his throat. Jungkook, barely a whisper. I do. Taehyung smirks, satisfied. He lifts Jungkook's hand, sliding a heavy platinum ring onto his finger, a symbol of ownership more than love. Then, before Jungkook can brace himself, Taehyung cups his chin and captures his lips. It's possessive. Firm. A silent declaration that Jungkook belongs to him now. When Taehyung finally pulls away, he murmurs against Jungkook's lips, a smirk playing at the corners of his mouth. Taehyung, too late to run now, sweetheart. Jungkook's heart hammers in his chest. He's trapped. And the worst part? A part of him wonders what it would feel like if Taehyung ever kissed him for real. The master bedroom. The wedding is over, and reality sets in. Jungkook isn't just trapped in a contract. He's now married to the most powerful mafia boss in Seoul. Jungkook stands in the middle of the massive bedroom, his fists clenched at his sides. The sound of the door locking behind him makes his heart pound. He doesn't have to turn around to know that Taehyung is watching him. Jungkook, gritting his teeth, refusing to look at him. So, what now? Do I just pretend this is normal? Pretend that I wanted this? Taehyung chuckles, a low, amused sound that makes Jungkook's skin prickle. He takes slow, deliberate steps toward him, stopping just close enough for Jungkook to feel his presence. Taehyung, calmly, but with an edge of finality, no need to pretend. You're mine. That's the only reality you need to accept. Jungkook, spinning around, glaring, I'll never be yours. Taehyung tilts his head, studying Jungkook like he's something fascinating. Then, without warning, he reaches out, brushing a stray lock of hair from Jungkook's face. Jungkook flinches, but Taehyung doesn't let go. His fingers linger, tracing along Jungkook's jaw. Taehyung, voice dropping to a whisper, you're trembling. Jungkook, breath hitching, stepping back, I'm not. Before he can finish, Taehyung takes a step forward, closing the distance between them again. Jungkook's back hits the wall. He sucks in a sharp breath, trapped between Taehyung's towering frame and the cold surface behind him. Taehyung, soft, almost teasing, are you afraid of me? Jungkook wants to say no. Wants to shove him away. But his body betrays him, his pulse racing, his breath uneven. He hates the way Taehyung looks at him, like he already knows the answer. Jungkook, defiant, but his voice wavers. No. Taehyung smirks. Slowly, he lifts Jungkook's chin, forcing him to meet his gaze. Taehyung, murmuring, gaze darkening, then why do you look like you're about to run? Jungkook swallows hard. He doesn't have an answer. And the worst part? He doesn't even know if he's afraid of Taehyung, or the way his own body reacts to him. The silence stretches between them, thick with unspoken tension. Then, just as suddenly as he invaded Jungkook's space, Taehyung pulls away, turning his back to him. Taehyung, walking toward the bed, unbuttoning his cuffs. Get some rest. You'll need it. Jungkook, stiffening, wary. For what? Taehyung doesn't answer. He simply smirks over his shoulder, his gaze lingering on Jungkook for a moment too long before he disappears into the bathroom. The sound of water running fills the air. Jungkook exhales shakily, pressing a hand to his chest. His heart is still racing. He doesn't know what's more terrifying, that he's now trapped in a marriage with a ruthless mafia boss, or that a part of him is drawn to the man he swore to hate.